inside Thursday night. How's it going? Alright, strip back, good crack, multi-trade podcast. Share the knowledge you know, help to make our sector grow. Everybody's learning from experts and the journeyman. Insights.
This podcast is coming to you, sponsored by Snickers Workwear Ireland.
Jump over to the website, snickersworkwear.ie, if you want to see the full range.
Amy, thanks for joining myself and Keith on the podcast. Really appreciate having another Balbrigganer in the studio with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Even a local.
Yeah. That's it.
Gibbons is the surname. Are you any relation to the famous sacking of Balbriggan, Gibbons?
No, I'm not actually, but my dad's name is Sean as well. So
oh, wow.
Everybody does think it is a relation, but it's not.
You should just roll her.
I know, I should probably just make a good story out of it, but no relation whatsoever.
Be down there when they're doing the celebrations every year down at outside the central there with their flags.
Yeah. Every year.
It's my ancestors.
Just standing over the bridge with the flags, yeah.
But as you mentioned, Balbriggan, have you lived in Balbriggan your whole life?
Yeah, literally since I was born. My family aren't originally from Balbriggan, so they're from Coolock. And yeah, I'm 23, so my mum and dad have been living in Balbriggan for like last 25 years or whatever. So yeah, I'm born and bred in Balbriggan basically, yeah.
We know, but for anyone that's not from Balbriggan, what was the sports scene like in Balbriggan growing up?
I think for myself, sport has always been such a huge, obviously, part of Balbriggan. You know, it's such a huge community now. Like, the amount of people living in Balbriggan now is massive. And I think even over the last, 10, 15 years, there's been, so many more clubs, so many teams, let alone, not just in Gaelic football, but, football, athletics, basketball, cricket is massive, obviously, rugby too. So, the community within sport, even in the Fingal area as a whole, it's huge, it's massive. And it is great to see as well. It's so good, because other than sport, there's not a lot of facilities in Balbriggan where younger people can go to. Obviously, you guys know yourself, there's loads of more works going on in Balbriggan now, lots of funding, lots of grants being given, which is great. So I think for the town as a whole, it is hopeful and it's exciting. So hopefully, we do see that in the near future anyway.
Football would have been like soccer, not Gaelic, for myself and Keith, would have been the outlet in school for us. We would have played for the local team, trained on a Tuesday, played on the school football team on a Wednesday in school, trained again on a Thursday. You'd be with the Dublin selection squad on a Friday, and playing again on a Saturday, then on a Sunday between your local club and the selection squad. So sports would have been wrapped around our sort of childhood into teenage years and based around our school years as well. It would have been a massive influence on us. Is that something that you found early on growing up, coming up in school, or would it been something that you found later on in your life?
No, look, I think when in Ireland, whether you play football or you never have, I think GAA in particular is always, a part of somebody's life in some way. Whether you've grown up playing it, whether you've watched it, it's embedded in everybody in some way or sense. So I think there was never pressure on me to play sport. I think as a kid, I was such an active kid anyway. And I sort of just fell into being so active through sports. And then when I was about 7 or 8, I ended up joining the local club of O'Dwyer's. Went down, started playing hurling and football for the lads team because there was no girls teams at the time.
Yeah, man.
And from the age of about 7 or 8, right up until under 13s, I was playing with the lads. And there was probably 5 or 6 girls that were playing with the lads team. But that's how it basically started, just playing football, enjoying it. And that was always an outlet, even with school. Obviously, I went to Loretto and I went to the Gael school as well. So there's a big sense of sport, and it's basically just been embedded in me since I'm 6 or 7 or 8 even. So sport has always been it's such a huge part of my life anyway.
Yeah, so it was, in terms of fitness then, it was more the sport that drew you in. And what drew you, obviously you're from Balbriggan, so you kind of levitated to the local team. Where did it go from you from there? in terms of what age did you go onto an all girls team?
So the rule is once you go to under 13s, like, you know, it's recommended, obviously, you leave the lads, they obviously get bigger, stronger, and you go to the girls' team. At the time, the girls' team in O'Dwyer's and the girls' section of O'Dwyer's was getting a lot bigger. We had our first ladies' team, we had minor teams, and then obviously I went up to the under 13s team and we had a squad, which was great. And from there on out, like, I think I've been quite lucky to grow up in the position where I have, where we've had so much success within the lady section of O'Dwyer's over the last 10 to 12 years. And I think as a whole, our whole team, we've all grown up together. Like, I'm playing with girls that I've been playing with since I'm, like, you know, 8, 9, 10, and now we're 20, 21 plus or whatever that might be. And, you know, it's a sense of family now within the team. And I think the success that we've had over the last 10 to 12 years just shows how much ladies sports has came on, but like also the impact that we can hopefully give to the younger girls teams now, because there's 3, 4, 5 younger girls teams within like the whole club now, from like nursery level right the way up. So the future is looking bright for O'Dwyer's, that's for sure.
They have a new facility up there as well, do they?
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be playing on it this year. It's literally just across the road, massive setup. It's going to be great, not only for like the club, but I think for the whole of Balbriggan as well. Like, it's definitely needed. I think we're definitely going in the right direction anyway. That's for certain.
It's very impressive.
Does O'Dwyer's utilise the girls that have come through the ranks from the previous years to then coach the up and coming girls that are coming behind them?
Yeah, most definitely. And I think, you know, our ladies team in particular play a massive role in that. And like, you know, there's a select few girls in our team that, you know, when they probably don't have the time, they make the effort to go down, and they're role models and coaches for, you know, the likes of, you know, under 14s, under 15s, under 16 girls in particular, because it's around that age where girls usually do fall away from sport and they fall out of the love of sport and they just give up. It's a common age for people to stop playing at that time. So if we can make an impact and go down and show them, like, look what you can do if you stick with sport, whether you're even good at it or not, like the impact that it can make for you on and off the field as well is huge. So I'm so privileged and probably so proud to be an associate with that team and be a player for that team, but also for the club as a whole as well. Because, you know, I started playing for the ladies team when I was 13, and at the time I think we were Division 6 or 7, and every single year up until now we've either won or we've been promoted. And it's taken time, you know, like we've lost battles at times to win wars, but now we're playing senior championship, we're playing Division 1 football in Dublin, and we hope to just keep going from there on out. Like,
that's great. And what's your proudest moment in GAA so far?
I think personally, I think, you know, put aside like personal goals where you want to do this or you want to win this or whatever, but when it comes to winning, you're part of a team for that reason. So I think the first thing, or the main one that does stand out to me, is when we won the Leinster Championship in 2022 with the club. We were unfortunate to not win and go the whole way to the All-Ireland final. We lost out in the All-Ireland semi-final, but, you know, the journey that we had at that time, like, we started off in January. It was such a long season. I don't think we finished up until early December, but we came out, we won Dublin Junior A Championship. We went on to the Leinster rounds then, bus trips down the country. But like the support that we had, like 2 full buses coming down to us at times, and our supporters were probably, you know, outtaking the home supporters from teams down in Kilkenny or teams like down in Clare or wherever we were at the time. And I think that really changed and flipped the switch for the club and the support in the club, but also for our team as well. I don't think, you know, we would be where we are today only for that journey that we had in 2022. And I think, you know, I probably even took it for granted myself, the time, like you were so caught up in the moment, and looking back at it now, like you'll never forget memories like that ever, like, you know, and we made history in the club too. So it's great that, you know, we've put our mark on paper, and hopefully as a team, you know, like I was saying before, it's a way for younger girls to look up to us and they can hopefully strive, and we can build them through as well in some sense.
It's great for like a town like Balbriggan to be able to, showcase what they have in Dublin, because as we know, like Dublin would have the cream of the crop when it comes to GAA, like, you know what I mean? But I used to play for Glebe North as well, and anytime we were in, All-Ireland games as well, there'd be a bus crowd of Balbriggan people going down.
Yeah,
it just has
great.
that kind of effect.
And like even Glebe North are doing great. Like they obviously won the intermediate last year and stuff, which my boyfriend was involved with.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, it is great for the town as a whole too. It is really good to see.
To have that in 2022, like coming out the back end of COVID as well, like must have been great for everybody's mental health as well. Like
most definitely, and I think we were obviously out of action for the guts of a year when it came to football and with competitive games, and even COVID brought us so close. We were doing all these online workouts and these runs for charity where we raised a lot of money actually as well at the time too. So to come out of that, and I think that year we wanted to lay a marker. We regrouped that year and we said, look, we can go for this year. And I think we were locked in from day dot when we had that first meeting in January. And I think the hunger was just there as a whole. It wasn't selective people having that hunger and, few people saying we can get here. It was a group, it was a family, and we all just came together and we reaped the rewards from that. And I think we've just gone from strength to strength ever since. But that wouldn't have been done without, the background team that we've had and the management that have been by our side for the last 10, 15 years or so.
Did you always have that drive to go far in GAA, or was it a constant build up from when you were playing Division 7 all the way up? And like, do you think the GAA has fed into your mindset in terms of fitness and the way you go about yourself? I
think it definitely plays a huge factor anyway. I think over the years, maybe as a team, we didn't realise like how we were getting better and better every year. I think we took everything in our stride, and in a sense, that's good because we didn't let success feed into us. And I think, you're only as good as your last game. So you want to just, keep pushing, keep striving and having no ceiling there. And I think for me, maybe that's where maybe the fitness journey outside of Gaelic maybe started, and realising, I have such a big passion for GAA and playing football as a player, as an athlete. And I think training and doing other things like that too, maybe that only came from when I was impacted with my first ACL injury. And that's where maybe fitness outside of GAA had a big impact on me as well.
I presume going up through the divisions, there's an increase in the stamina you're going to need to compete at that level as well. Would that be a good analysis of what you have to do? Yeah,
most definitely. I think, as you know, GAA is an amateur sport, and everybody goes off to work, school, college, whatever time of the day they're doing, but then they come back and they're training, but you're not getting paid for it. That's a sense of passion and loyalty that you have for your sport, because you're not doing it for money. You're doing it because you love it so much. And, I think that's what makes GAA so special. And you wouldn't get that anywhere else in the world, ever.
Is it demanding on the body? Is it tough before you even get to any type of game time or any type of physical contact against another team? Is the training demanding on the body? I
think, well, of course it is. If you want to get fitter, you need to train and you need to work and stuff like that too. But, it all goes down to the work that you put in. If you don't want to win games, if you don't want to be a better athlete as an individual, well, then you're not going to put the work in. But if you have goals there, if you have standards there, well, then you're going to want to put the work in. And yeah, training is going to be tough and it's hard, but you'll see the rewards from that when you do look back and you see, Jesus, I'm after flying, from pre-season, and now look at me flying in games. So it all depends what you put in. But I think recovery is so important when it comes to that too. There's no point running yourself into the ground if you're not eating right, sleeping right, looking after yourself. You can be the fittest athlete you can be, but if you're not looking after yourself outside of that, you can forget about anything else,
Yeah. You mentioned the ACL, and we had a little chat about it earlier. Devastating to, tear your ACL once, but to have it done or happen to you twice must have been a bit of a traumatic experience for yourself.
Yeah, look, it's like I was saying beforehand, I've only been ever faced with 2 injuries, and they were the 2 injuries that I've ever gotten. And, you know, it's the dreaded three letters ACL. It's such a big topic at the moment too.
Yeah.
You know, I think the first time I did it, it was in 2021. Didn't realise I did it for a couple of months. And the first time I did it, obviously got the operation, was out for a full year, rehabbing it. But at the time, we were only getting back into football from COVID. So when I was out, the team weren't really training. There wasn't too much going on. So it wasn't really like I was missing out on anything. I could work on myself, you know, get fitter, get better, and then get back into the team the following year when everybody would be back playing properly again post-COVID. So I think the first time I did it was, I actually enjoyed the process. You know, it was the first major challenge I've probably been ever faced in my life outside of sport as well. It was physically demanding, like you're learning how to walk again, run again, get confident within yourself again. And you didn't know what to expect. You didn't know what was to come. So I sort of enjoyed the progress I was making throughout the process of the 12-month journey. And I think, you know, when I came back, it took me a while to get back, and it's going to take you a while to get back from such a major blow like that. And when I did come back, I hit a peak again. I was probably playing the best football I ever was. That was the same year that we'd had such a great run with the club, and, you know, I was buzzing. And then the January 2023 hits, pre-season came along, I was flying. I was like, you know what, this could be my year now. From being involved in Dublin underage, I was like, you know, maybe I could go ahead now, maybe get into that side of things again. And March 2023, it was our last pre-season game of the year. I was running up the wing, took a sharp turn, and the right leg went, so the opposite leg went, which was a big blow. But, you know, I think you learn from setbacks. It's how you react to them that's going to make you the person that you want to be again.
And do you think that, because I had suffered an ACL injury myself in football as well, and I remember the recovery, and it's tough. It is really tough, and not just physically but mentally, you know. And while you're in that recovery, you're putting strain on other parts of your body, you know. So it could be your ankles, or it could be your opposite leg that you're putting a bit of strain on, because you're nearly compensating for the injury on the opposite side. Do you feel like that's the catalyst of what actually caused the opposite ACL?
Perhaps, like, that's probably, it's probably a question that I'll never know the answer to. There's so many different factors. Like, it could have just been a fluky turn. Like, you just never know. Like I was saying before, if you've done the other knee, there's a 20% chance that you could do the opposite knee. And I was that part of that 20%, unfortunately. I think the second time around, they were probably two completely different people. I think the first time around, I was probably naive. I didn't understand. I wasn't very knowledgeable. I was, you know, learning as I went through each month, each day, each week. And the first time around, I was probably a lot more positive about the journey. The second time around, you know, it was a different ballgame. I knew what was to come. I knew the process. And it was probably a lot more mentally difficult, probably, than physically difficult the second time around. But I think the second time around, you know, I learned so much about myself off the field, and then bringing that onto the field as well. So I know, you know, it's such a dreaded injury, and it's such a cliche to say. And with anything or any piece of advice that people give, if, you know, if there's a setback, there's always a comeback. It's so cheesy to say, but, you know, I'm, in a weird way, I'm thankful that they both happened, because I wouldn't be where I am now if they didn't happen. I have no idea where I would be now if neither of them happened. So yeah, I'm actually thankful that they did happen.
It's part of your story.
Yeah.
And having done it twice, for anyone that I suppose is starting their journey on a long-term injury, what would your main advice be? I
think fear is an emotion. So people feel fear. People are afraid of fear. And I think if you're to flip a coin, there's two sides of the coin. Fear being one, maybe forget everything and run. Then you flip the coin again and you can change your perspective on it, and you can, you know, face everything and rise. Yeah. So I think it's your perspective of, you know, what journey you want to take. The injuries happened. You can't change that. Yeah. You can't control that. The only thing you can control is the action you're going to make now to where you want to be in the near future, whether that's you want to get back to sport, you want to do something else that you might have been able to do before.
Yeah.
If you didn't do it. So I think it's just all about perspective when it comes to that. And for anybody that, you know, is scared, and it is a grueling journey, like, don't get me wrong, it's hard. It's very bloody hard. And unless you've gone through an injury like that, like, you'll never understand it. You'll only be able to, you know, hear them and listen to them, but you'll never actually feel what it's like.
Yeah,
So I think, the main thing is just be so open-minded and don't think about the negatives so much. Like, what positives have came from this now? Like, what better person can you be? What can you do now that you haven't been able to do before?
I feel like my biggest mistake when I done my ACL was I isolated myself away from the team. I went through recovery on my own, completely on my own. I didn't turn up to any training sessions thereafter. I didn't even turn up to games thereafter, feeling sorry for myself. Now, I went through the recovery, and in my mindset, I was thinking, I can do it on my own, and I'll get to where I need to be. And I feel that when I got to where I need to be at the end of it, then I'd gone so inside myself that I found it very hard then to get back into the normal running of being within a team environment again. Did you keep yourself connected to your team during the recovery process, or did you find yourself isolating yourself?
I think the first time around, there wasn't really a choice because none of us were really together anyway, the timing of it, like I was saying with COVID. The second time, most definitely, like, I did isolate myself at the start for easily the first month or two. Now, to be fair, I was on crutches at the time. It wasn't really accessible to be hopping around and, you know, being here, there and everywhere. But yeah, most definitely, like, I felt sorry for myself for a while. But I think in circumstances like that, I think you need to allow yourself to feel sorry for yourself. I think if you don't feel sorry for yourself at the start, that's going to come back and it's going to eat you up because you haven't accepted it. I think you need to feel sorry for yourself because it gives you a point to accept and reflect. As time goes on and you're a little bit more positive, you're a little bit more hopeful, I think it's so important to not keep yourself isolated because it's a team sport at the end of the day. Yeah, your teammates can't understand what you're going through, but being involved with your team, being social with your team, having a positive impact in the changing room, on the sideline, in group chats is so important. If you can't make an impact off the field, you shouldn't allow yourself to have an impact on the field.
Can you remember the first ball you kicked over the bar after recovery and what that felt like?
Yeah, I remember it quite clearly. It would have been May last year and I came on for the last 15 minutes and I got the ball straight away and popped it over the bar straight away and I was like, yes, this is it, I'm back. And then 3 weeks later I end up having a partial tear in my hamstring. So looking back, you could say last year was a write-off too, but like I said, I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason. But it's small moments like that, like, you'll never forget. Like, I've kicked multiple balls over the bar and most definitely not over the bar. But, you know, I remember that point I got the ball for the first time in a year and a half and popped it over the bar and I was like, you know, that's what it's all about. Like, I work so hard for myself for this long. Yeah. And like, it's small moments like that.
Breakthrough moments.
Yeah, it's really rewarding. It's a rewarding feeling, most definitely.
The only reason why I say that is I was a striker. And yeah, well, I thought I was anyway, but I never scored a goal again after my injury.
Really?
And that plays on my mind, you know, that after that major operation and coming back, I never got fully into it. So I never experienced the feeling of the goals that I would have scored before it, after it. And I think that sort of ate away at me within the sport after it. So I never...
You were greedy as well.
I was a greedy striker. So it would have been something that really would have affected me, that when you weren't hitting those sort of markers that you would have hit before, it slowly starts to eat away at you and you just lose the love of it, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And like, that's the thing when you come back from such a big setback like that. Like, you're not going to be who you are straight away. You're not going to be the player you were before. It takes time. Like, and I think people are so hard to be patient with the process of things like that. Like, you need to accept that it takes time. It's a journey. And once you're open to that acceptance, you just need to be so patient with the process. Like even now, I know I'm not half where I want to be or where I should be compared to where I was before. But if like you can't stay complacent, like you have to just keep chipping away. Every session that you're going to, every game that you play, the more minutes that you get under your belt, like it's a snowball effect. You're only going to get better and better and better. You just need to be so patient with the process, because you can let yourself slip so easily. And I've seen that happen to players. I've seen that happen to clients that I've had. The head goes down, the head drops, the negative thoughts start eating away. But it's how you react to situations like that. And yeah, it's going to make you a better player in the long run. But like I was saying before, like you learn so much about yourself. Like you don't realise the strength that you have, or the impact that you could even have to others by showcasing what you've done or how far you've got.
That's where the likes of you coming in, sharing your story, really helps people that are in that position. Because me and Stephen are old boys now. There would have been none of that online when we were growing up. You're left on your own basically. Like you would have no support really, bar maybe close friends and family, but and the wider community, you wouldn't have had it at all. But you mentioned clients. So when did you decide to venture into the online and in-person coaching?
Yeah, so like I was saying, like with the injuries and stuff like that too, if they didn't have happened, I wouldn't have made this page. I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I wouldn't be doing anything of the sort. And like you were saying, like growing up, maybe there was nothing there. There was no social media. Yeah. You're surrounded by family and friends. There was no platform there to get feedback from, or to feel like you're understood, or feel like you could relate to anybody else. So I've always been so interested and invested when it comes to like cameras and editing. Like even when I was always filming something when I was younger. I was always editing things. I was always, loving to be behind the camera and stuff like that too. So I started posting. I made an Instagram page. I made a TikTok page in 2022. And I just started posting like my own training in the gym. And I only started getting into the gym from the rehab work that I've done for my knee. I actually never stepped foot into a gym or only played around with the gym up until the age I was 18 or 19.
Yeah.
And when I got into the gym, the only work I was doing was rehab for my ACL. And that's when I started going to Platinum Gyms in Balbriggan.
Yeah.
And I started training there. And I was posting my videos and started posting content, but I wasn't providing any value. I was just posting what I was doing, because I was so like uneducated around like how I could provide value to people at that time. And as time went on, I started posting a little bit more content around my knee, a little bit more content around GAA. And I started getting a lot of feedback from that, especially from TikTok. And I was starting to find a little bit more of a niche that I felt I could provide value to and help others with.
Yeah.
So that's when I delved more into the GAA side of things. And then I delved more into, females in sport and, how females can, have such a positive impact and how I can help people. And, look, basically just like creating a platform there that people can go to and hopefully get information from, essentially.
Yeah. Mentioned there obviously the social media aspect of it, and then that brings along, like the likes of collaborations and, people trying to utilize your, abilities and knowledge to promote their products and stuff. Have you found a lot of people looking to reach out to you to promote them through your page?
Yeah, and I think it's so like it's baffling to me like that, like these people want to collaborate with me and want to work with me, or they want me to post something, to advertise something. And, I'll only ever post something or collaborate or be an ambassador for, a brand that I would use, or, I believe that would help people that follow me. Because if I was to post something that's completely out of my niche, like that's not going to do anything. It's not going to make people have trust in me. Like it doesn't make me look like a real person, So I've been so lucky to be able to work with like a certain few brands over the last couple of years just from posting videos. Like it's actually mad, to be honest. Like it's crazy.
It's great to get noticed as well, you know, for the good work that you're doing. And me and Stephen probably answered this question earlier on, but what's the biggest misconception people have about training and getting fit?
When I mentioned it to you guys earlier on, you guys laughed at me. But I think one of the biggest misconceptions people have with training is it's not for them, or, you know, usually what you hear is, oh God, I could never do that. Yeah. And you ask why. And, oh, well, you know, I've never trained. I've never stepped foot into a gym before. I'm too overweight. I'm too busy. I don't have the time. Is huge. And I think one of the biggest misconceptions of fitness is it's for everybody. Like, no matter who you are, no matter what you're doing or what lifestyle you have, fitness is most definitely for you. Like, it's so important to people, for people, physically, mentally, and the positive impact that it would have on you as an individual, no matter what sort of exercise you're doing. Like, I'm not even talking about being involved in team sports. Literally something so simple like going for a walk, going out for jogs. I know running is such a big trend at the moment and everybody's getting outdoors and getting active. And you see online now there's these people running and, you know, they never think of running these marathons and stuff before. And something that I find baffling as well is people doing these marathons now. And I'm not a runner myself, but, you know, it's so like crazy to see all these people hitting these massive milestones and achievements like off their own back. And like doing marathons is not something that's easy whatsoever. No. And you have these people from all different walks of life, like doing massive things like this. And I think it's amazing, like, to see. But I think that's the power of social media as well.
You think like people signing up to the likes of Bike Row Ski, where you're coaching and that, and you see like the same people coming to your classes, they have a little bit of a community there in the class that is part of the draw, not even just the fitness aspect of it. It's just being able to get out, link in with different people and share similar interests.
100%. Like, you hit the nail on the head there. I think in a lot of fitness environments, you know, people are unsure of what to do. And I think a big misconception, or for something with that as well, is people are saying fitness isn't for them. And with Bike Row Ski, there's such a massive sense of community. And like I was saying before, people come in through our doors from all different walks of life. People come through our doors that have never stepped foot into a gym before. People are coming in and they don't understand what they're doing. They don't know what's going on. And it's our job to help them as a coach and to guide them through their journey. Fitness is a journey, the amazing people that I've met and seen through Bike Row Ski is unbelievable. And to be honest, like, I don't know where I would be, and I don't know like what I would be doing if it wasn't for Bike Row Ski as well. And I know I have an online platform where I post so much information for GA players online and stuff like that too, but Bike Row Ski has been the foundation of that. The friends that I've made for life, the mentors that I have there, like, I'll never be any more thankful for that. Like, and it's just such an amazing community to be part of. And yeah, it's great to be part of.
We presume for anybody looking for a full body workout in a shorter space of time, Bike Row Ski would be, you know, the sport, or I suppose the activity to get into.
Like, yeah, that was the original like concept, is, you know, people that are stuck for time. It's 45 minutes. You're achieving a full body workout through the bike, the row, the ski machine, and all of our machines are low impact. So it's all of your own velocity going to the machines, and you want to go in. But when you go in, like, as coaches, there's no expectations of you when you come into a room. Like we were saying before, you know, people are coming in from all different walks of life. You go at your own pace, and there's nothing more rewarding for me to be able to make a positive impact on however many people have been in that 45-minute class, enjoying it. People thinking fitness, you know, is hard, it's challenging. Yeah, it is if you want it to be, but like, I failed as a coach if you're not leaving that room feeling fulfilled and feeling fulfilled rather than defeated. Like, we most definitely don't want you feeling defeated leaving the room. And And I think that's what makes me enjoy my job so much, is that rewarding feeling of helping people, and making people feel understood and heard. I think in life, you know, once somebody feels understood or once somebody feels heard, that's something that's so important. And I think that's what makes my job so important, and why I love my job so much. It's because I love helping people. And I think, you know, that's one of my core values, would be helping people and being a leader and a role model for people.
And you've integrated a local Balbriggan man into your studio as well, playing his tracks on your music system.
Yeah, Paul Webb, he's been with us from day one in Balbriggan. Actually, he's completed like over 500 classes with us, and yeah, he does all of our music, and
That's
keeps
class.
us going. Yeah,
Paul Webster has a new song coming out with Bo Bruce this month actually, and it's an absolute banger. And he was promoting it on this podcast. Was it just before Christmas?
Before Christmas, yeah.
And it's unbelievable. So it's a hold and delight.
yeah.
So if you're going to get that into the studio. But as Keith mentioned there, like just for yourself personally and just for the classes as well, how important is the perfect playlist during exercise?
Oh, like, I think music is so important, especially when you're in an environment like that. Like, you know, I think music, it's great. Like, I'm a fan of a good bit of music myself. And you know when you put on a good song and everybody's going, like, there's nothing better when you're at the end of a class and you're coaching, or even if you're partaking in it, and a great tune comes on, you get goosebumps. Like, it's great. Like, it's an amazing feeling.
So if you were to put one song on that would be your go-to song for a workout, what would it be?
To be fair, a lot of people don't expect it, and they, like, you know, would think you'd want a bit of uns or whatever when you're training. But if I'm training, like, I'm throwing the Irish palettes on. Yeah, I swear to God. Yeah, like, my music varies like so much. Could be listening to, you know, proper heavy like house music one day. The next day I'm probably listening to Aslan. The following day I'm probably listening to the Wolf Tones. Yeah. And honestly, it depends. I just love all music.
It's a great way to be, though, isn't it? To have that mix.
Yeah, 100%. Like, when you're in biker ski, when you're in the room, you want a little bit more, something a little bit more upbeat or whatever. But when I'm doing my own sort of training, I keep it a little bit more chill.
Where can people reach out to if they want to sign up to one of these bike row ski classes?
Literally just download our biker ski app, sign into the nearest location to you, and that's the first start to your fitness journey. Even go onto our Instagram page, check out our TikTok, and you'll see yourself on the page. If you're hesitant to try biker ski, you'll see yourself. Like, we've had unbelievable people come into our room hitting huge milestones. Like, we've 2 ladies in particular in our Balbriggan studio that are coming up to 1,000 classes in the next month or so, and it's huge. We had 2 ladies that just completed 750 classes yesterday morning with myself, and it's unbelievable. And, you know, like, we've men coming in their early 60s. We've people that are coming in, you know, their 30s, 40s. People think that, you know, this environment is for young, fit, athletic people, but it's most definitely not. And yeah, that's what I was saying. If you want to get involved, if you want to try something new out, and you want to start a journey that is going to make a positive impact and a habitual impact on your life, just go for it. That doesn't even have to be biker ski. It can be anything. I think movement is just so important for people.
Can you tell us about your role as ambassador for Stat Sports?
Yeah, so Stat Sports are huge, obviously an Irish brand, and they've grown massively within soccer and football over in England, over like across seas with Premier League clubs. They're working with Arsenal, they're working with the likes of Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, and they've grown massively. They obviously they sponsor Loud GAA as well, and it's only been over the last year and a half they've gotten involved with the LGFA. So they're doing a lot more, and they have been doing a lot more over the last year with the LGFA, which is huge, and it's great to see. And I've been involved with them for the last year now. And basically, if anybody doesn't know what Stat Sports is, it's a GPS pod. It tracks, you know, your feedback, your progress in real time while you're training. on the pitch. And, you know, I think it's a really good tool to have. I know it's not the be all and end all, and I'm a firm believer people shouldn't always, you know, put their all be end and all focus on, you know, stats and thinking if I don't get this and I don't get that in a game, I haven't played well. But, you know, if you're not assessing, you're guessing, and to have a tool like that you're able to look at and see your progress with is great. So that's why I'm so proud and happy to be, you know, an ambassador for Stat Sports. I think they're a really good company to work for, and a lot of their values would align with myself as well.
It's a way of keeping yourself honest as well.
Yeah, 100%. Especially with me when I was injured as well, like getting up to max speed and generating, you know, your exposure to that sort of running velocity again was great. Like, you know, and I've definitely seen my progress massively over the last year, and having like tools like that you can look back on is great as well.
Do you set yourself goals?
Yeah, maybe too many goals at times. I think I'm somebody that probably puts maybe too much pressure on myself at times. That can be a positive and a negative. Probably thinking there's no ceiling and always striving like, what's the next thing? What can I do now? What's next? What's next? So, yeah, I would be very goal driven for certain.
Have you any plans in the pipeline?
For this year, I think my main goal is to just, number one, not get injured. Number two is just, you know, keep, you know, learning, keep getting knowledge, keep asking questions to people that I can get more answers from that are way more educated than me, growing my own business, and just being part of a like-minded community within biker ski and being involved in a job that I love so much as well.
Fair play.
Brilliant. Most important question is the Spotify playlist question. What song would you add to our Spotify playlist to get the bike row ski people going?
I don't know. There's so many songs. I think we've touched off every single song within biker ski now, but my go-to song is Viva La Vida by Coldplay. I just love it. That's my go-to song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely add that one to it. We wish you the best for the rest of 2025 and whatever else you've got coming up. I know it's been a pleasure to have another...
Absolutely brilliant having you on.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Balbriggan native, as we call ourselves.
Up the brig.
Up the brig.
Yeah, up the brig.
Take it easy. Have a good one.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
You're
Amy.
all good.